All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And you're going to want to, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I have quite a bit of content coming, not just in regards to DC, but also a bunch of other things as well. I will be seeing Twisters tonight with my family, and we'll have that review up early, bright and early tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in coming back for that, that will be posted on my channel as well. I'm also going to be doing another video here in the next couple of days where I talk about Warner Brothers Discovery and how they are in really bad shape and analysts are starting to notice. In fact, there were mass layoffs at Warner Brothers, and they're looking to basically offload a lot of their assets in hopes that they can be merged with another company because they are still $40 billion in debt. And I'll talk more about that. We're going to go through an article from that an analyst from Bank of America talks about their situation. So that is coming as well. But I told you guys they're going to be sold, merged. Something's going to happen with Warner Brothers. They cannot stay on the status quo. They are literally burning to the ground. And everyone says they're just fine, but they're not. Yeah, they're chipping away, but $40 billion is a lot of money. And analysts now realize that they cannot keep the status quo. Their stock is going to remain low, and they're going to continue to fail unless something happens. And I was hoping something big would have happened over the last couple of days, but it hasn't. So I'll probably do that video here in the next couple of days. Still hoping something may happen, but we don't know. But we're going to look at some stuff that could be affected by all of this, and we're going to look at some interesting things here today as to what is going on with DC and the confusion that James Gunn continues to just throw out there, and his blind followers just accept everything. It's just freaking bizarre, but we're going to look at some stuff here. So Sammy posted this the other day, and I thought this was very interesting. So somebody asked James Gunn, is Paradise Lost still in production? He goes on to say, nothing is in production unless it's been greenlit. Right now, that's Superman, Supergirl, Penguin, Peacemaker, Lanterns, and a handful of animated projects. But Paradise Lost, like many other titles, known and unknown, is still in very active development. It will be in production once we have a script or scripts we think are great and ready to shoot. Never before. As an aside, we aren't officially cast on anything that isn't greenlit. So Sammy said the Batman 2 was greenlit before Gunn became CEO, but apparently not in production, according to him. Maybe he forgot again. Again, this goes to show you how James Gunn just talks out of both sides. And this, I think what's the more serious issue here is that the Batman 2 maybe has not officially been greenlit, and we may never see it. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's a very real possibility. I really think James Gunn wants to squash anything that is not in his universe. So Variety picked up on this article about Superman just wrapping its 6 weeks of filming in Cleveland. Now, they are not done filming entirely, but here's what it says. We are not done shooting. Still a couple of weeks left. Just done shooting in Cleveland. And yeah, it's a long shoot, but we're getting close. Cleveland, today we are leaving you after 6 amazing weeks of shooting. From the moment we first came here on a scout a tad less than a year ago, and Terminal Tower was lit up with the colors of Superman, I knew you were a special place. I would walk down your streets and someone would stop me and tell me how grateful they were we were shooting in their city. Not once, not twice, but dozens of times. That's a pretty cool comment. I'm glad that some people are getting some enjoyment out of this. And it is cool to put a place like Cleveland on film and some of the residents. I still am not convinced this movie is going to be any good, but I'm just hoping they will put out a trailer at some point. We're a year out. Usually when something comes out in July of the following year, you might get a trailer around Christmas time. So I'm hoping around the holiday season this year, we may get a glimpse at something. I want to see what the actual look of the film is going to be, and I want to see if it's going to look cheap or if it's going to look professional. I just don't know what to think at this stage because nothing has been released, but nothing looks amazing at this stage. So what's going on here on the set of Peacemaker Season 2? Now, what a lot of people have noticed is how some of these costumes have changed. And notice that especially, Peacemaker's costume itself looks more professional, doesn't look as goofy. And so there's supposed to be some changes with Season 2, and we're going to look at some confusion that James Gunn has caused with his comments in regards to Peacemaker Season 2 in just a few minutes here. All right, so here it is. Actually, it's the only other photo I have for you here today. Before this all came about, James Gunn said that Peacemaker Season 1 is not canon at all to the DCU. It's not canon. But somebody asked him, how is Peacemaker Season 2 coming along? Will it pick up where the first season left off, or will it be very different to signify that the first season isn't canon? He says it essentially picks up where Season 1 left off, with a couple of minor differences. He said Season 1 was not canon. Now it's picking up after the events of Season 1, and if you remember, the very end of Season 1 is where he confronted, or where he saw the Justice League. And so is that going to be the only difference, that the Justice League is different? What he's doing is he's taking parts of this, parts of that, and then saying this is the DCU, and we still haven't had any indication as to how they're going to explain that the world is different. I personally think at this stage they're not going to explain it. They're just going to run with it, which I think would be ridiculous. This is just a weird comment. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I had some people try to pile on top of me when I posted this on Twitter and say it's not confusing. Of course it's not confusing. They're just going to back up whatever Gunn says no matter what. They're just going to blindly follow a guy and say it's amazing. One person said this is how you do real world building. What? How is that world building? In fact, that's just saying I don't want this person's stuff, but I'm going to keep my stuff. And I have a feeling that the stuff that is going to change is anything that had to do specifically with the DCU, like the Justice League, or anything that tied it to it. My hope with Peacemaker Season 2 is that it is way more serious. The comedy, the disgusting juvenile jokes, the nudity, all of the stuff that doesn't belong in superhero stuff needs to go away. They need to take this more seriously. And it's going to be interesting with Creature Commandos to see the tone of that, because that person involved in that article that I talked about in my last video said that is going to set the tone for the whole DCU. I certainly hope it's not like Suicide Squad, like Peacemaker. I hope it is not like his other stuff, because that's exactly what I don't like. And guys, I just have a lot of worries about this, and I just have a feeling that he's going to do whatever and not explain anything. So what do you guys think about what's going on with Warner Brothers? What do you think about the Superman stuff going on, and also these weird comments with Season 2? To me, it just seems all a little too convenient to fit his narrative and isn't really going to make sense to anybody. Now, personally, I'm of the mind of the more the better. I don't think the audience is as stupid as they think the audience is. You can have different continuities in comics. You can have different continuities in movies as well. But all we're seeing James Gunn do is just get rid of everything that's not his and keep his stuff only and not tap into the multiverse. I think the more the merrier. What do you guys think? All right, guys, if you liked the video, please give a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps out my channel. And we will see you on the next video.